Why is it that the Van Hagar stuff is widely ignored or not appreciated? Because I will argue this. In terms of the Hagar catalog, what I hear is that they went soft and they went pop and it's all keyboard. And the thing I can't, and I wrote some notes down for you because you are the guy to talk to about this. I can't wrap my head around this. So prior to him leaving, you can't get more pop than California Girls and Just a Gigolo. When
True.
he did his albums after that, after he left, Going Crazy, That's Life, Just Paradise, Just Like Paradise.
Just like Paradise, yep.
But even in Van Halen, Dance the Night Away was a pop tune. Could This Be Magic? Dancing in the Streets, Pretty Woman, Big Bad Bill, Happy Trails. It goes on and on and on. Eddie has said in interviews that he presented Dreams to Dave, that he presented Love Walks In to Dave. Those songs are going to be on their 5150, a Roth, 5150 album. I don't know what the shock is that this music was written by Ed. It was going to be on those albums. I don't understand the problem of why people hate on the Hagar stuff.
Right.
I would argue that, there was some keyboard stuff in there. Those songs were going to be Roth songs anyway, but they had some kick-ass songs. Every album went number one. I don't understand the hate. Can you explain that to me?
I mean, I don't know if I really can explain all the hate. I mean, I think I just mean it's real. And there's definitely people on when I tweet that are 100% Dave and get offended if I whatever. If you're whatever. I mean, it's very it's almost like a political thing, right? For people.
It is very much political.
Yeah. So I think part of it was that you had, I think a lot of people who are Van Halen fans are obviously of our generation, meaning we were around for the breakup in one way or the other. And remember Alex saying, "This is the real Van Halen," and Dave saying, "Sammy just sings about love," or whatever. All these, all this sort of pro wrestling style, bickering back and forth, which, was actually pretty much a constant thing for about 2 or so years until, to be honest, that Dave became a non-threat. That basically, for lack of a better way of describing it, that Sammy fronted Van Halen won the war, right? By 1991, for sure, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge comes out, and that blows away Little Ain't Enough, right? At that point, right? At that point, Dave's career has taken some blows, and there are not. We don't have time to talk about the reasons for that. There are many reasons for that, I think. But I also think, even to this day, I think obviously Dave was making provocative, kind of nasty comments about Sammy, in 1980. You can read old interviews and like British magazines, and he's Sammy loves his Trans Am more than he loves his wife, or whatever. Sammy should marry his Trans Am. There was all this stuff going on. Sammy, Dave already had this stuff going on. But today, I do think, for whatever reason, maybe it's because Roth has gotten more like a hermit in some ways. He doesn't do as much press as he used to. It's Sammy, Sammy doesn't exactly mince his words when he comes to Dave. And if he is mincing his words, he's still whatever he says, he still adds fuel to the fire. And I'm not saying that this could be anything more than just a business decision, because he knows if he says Dave's a weird guy, and I never could understand.
It's that. I don't think it's that.
Yeah, it probably isn't. I mean, I think
he just wants his. I think it's just he wants his fair share, not in a personal. He wants that catalog. Now, keep in mind, from 2007 on, that catalog didn't exist.
Okay,
none of it was remastered.
So I speak out of somebody who knows no more than anybody else who's a Van Halen fan. I've read what I've read.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know Sammy. I've never talked to any of those guys or any of their management or anything like that. I suspect there's some unfinished business from the first breakup that's financial. The first Hagar, like before 2004, the 95 one, 96, has probably never been resolved. Again, this is not from any information
Sammy and
that
Van
I have.
Halen you're talking about?
Correct. I'm correct. Yeah. I suspect that there was a something that went on that probably had to do with money. Again,
yeah. Was it the whole Cabo Wabo sale?
That I suspect. I mean, I think even Sammy has talked about that in his book, if I recall correctly. He sort of like hints that could have been a factor.
Yeah.
So I have no idea why Ed and Al and now Alex have never said, you know what, we should put, it's kind of crazy. We have this album 5150. It sold 5-7 million copies. We should put out a new version of it. 10 years ago, why they didn't do that? Or before Dave came out.
Well, they won't even license it out to TV or film or anything.
Supposedly that's true. That's what Sammy says. And okay, so we'll take it on his word. That's what's true. Look, why wouldn't they do that? Is it just like artistic? Like we hate those songs now? I mean, I doubt it. So Ed wrote them and Alex wrote them. I'm sure they don't think they suck. So my point is, let me finish my point. My point is, like, again, this is my opinion, my speculation, and maybe, talk to Sammy. You'll talk to Sammy in a week and he'll say that's bullshit. Is that they don't want to reward the person they feel who financially got the better of them. Yeah. It could be completely wrong. I don't even think it's anything like, oh, it's the brand or anything. I don't think that's what it is. Maybe it is. I don't think that's what it is. People aren't confused. I mean, if 5150 came out 2 years ago, as people are just like, oh, it's a catalog release, whatever. They don't even have to promote it. It just could come out.
Yeah.
But it's very, you can't get, right. 5150 hasn't been released since like 87 on CD or something like that, right? In the States.
Yeah. It's really interesting to me, and I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I do know that the Van Halen brothers thought that Cabo Wabo was the club. They weren't seeing their investment, and then when the breakup happened, they wanted to be bought out. And I think from what I've not directly heard, but read between the lines that they were pissed off that as soon as they were bought out, it became a really huge thing.
And then became a massive brand.
Yeah, and they lost money out on it, but that was their choice to sell. They could have.
I get it.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I own some Apple stock, and I owned not a lot, but I owned enough shares of Apple stock that I sold. Yeah, I sold in 97 or something like that. Sure. I sold. If I held those stock today, whatever, it would be worth quite a bit of money. My choice. I get it. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't mean I still don't sit back. When I don't think about it often, obviously, but like thinking about it now with you, if I don't think about it, goes, God damn, I'm pissed off. I sold that stock and would like to be pissed about that.
I think the other side of things is that they had to walk away from that because Dave just can't sing Sammy's catalog, the Van Hagar catalog.
Well, he was never going to sing it. I mean, even if he could,
right?
Never going to sing it.
Right.
That's true. I mean, right. I agree with you.
They had to ignore it. And I think his ego, this, I'm trying to keep this positive, but I don't think Hagar can sing Roth stuff willingly, even though there was a lot that he didn't want to sing. Mm-hmm. But I don't think ego wise, Roth would ever consider singing any Hagar stuff. And, I personally was disappointed in the three. I would have seen Eddie anywhere. And when they did their tour in 2015, I think my daughter was 5 at the time, doing the math right. And I told my wife, I have to bring her because I don't know why. I mean, I didn't see it. I wasn't reading tea leaves or anything, but I said to her, literally, this might be the last time.
Yeah.
So I need her to be able, when she's 80, to say, I saw Eddie Van Halen live. And it meant so much to me to take her there. But it did make me sad, even though I saw them 2007, 12, and 15. I did want that one last Hagar reunion.